Chat, it says Keith Lee drags Taraji P. Henson for ruining his career. What the fuck going on?
She say, yeah, his ego was hurt. And the whole time, I'm like, Taraji, I didn't have no issue. I didn't have no problem with you. If anything, I feel like she should have understood that I was talking directly to production. Because I know the situation that you was in. We was in it together. We was literally looking at the prompter and the teleprompter together. So I understand that it was nothing that she did. It just was a spare of the moment kind of thing. And I felt like she would understand that I wasn't coming from a place of attacking her.
So for the first time since the unfortunate viral moment that happened at the last BT Awards, Keith Lee has finally broken his silence on what went down that night. And girl, Keith is done hiding his feelings. And not only did he slam Taraji P. Henson for being shady, trying to ruin his brand, and set him up for drags, but he also sent some strong words to the entire production team of the BET Awards for how they acted unprofessional in organizing the award show. Now, for those who may not have clocked onto this grab a seat and let me fill you in. So the 2024 BET Awards would go down in history as one of the most talked about in recent years because it came around a time when Taraji P. Henson had her much publicized feud with Oprah, and we all remember how the news broke that she might get blacklisted and all. Well, a whole lot of celebrities stood 10 toes behind her back, and a few weeks later she was back hosting the BET Awards again. So Taraji returned to hosting the BET Awards ceremony for the third time in a row, and Taraji went viral on social media when one of her blunders became one of the most talked about topics of the award night. So this whole thing started during the show when Taraji did a bit where she gave people their flowers as a way of celebrating them. While doing this, she made her way to the front of the audience, and there was some sort of mix-up. She handed Jordan the flower, which was originally meant for Keith. Halfway through her banter with Jordan, Jordan pointed to Keith, signaling Taraji that she had the whole thing mixed up. When she realized her mistake—
Is that Michael? Is that Michael B. Jordan? Who is this? Is that who this is? What she mean, Jordan?
She asked Jordan to give Keith the flowers that were accidentally given to him, and yet Taraji apologized and tried to make a joke out of it. The cameras were on Keith when the flower was handed over to him, so he decided to put up an act and pretend all was wrong, but immediately the cameras moved away from him. In a now deleted TikTok post, Keith posted a video of him throwing the flower on the floor.
I was looking through a career that was more computer oriented.
Accelerated degrees in cyber
and added a caption saying, "Our name would be known in every room when it's supposed to be, how it's supposed to be with no confusion. God is amazing." The thing is, you don't decide how a person reacts when he feels disrespected. While Taraji apologized to Keith after realizing what she'd done, Keith was still mad because the whole situation made it look like he was not. Keith was not famous. And yeah, he had every right to react like he did. The video of Keith dropping the flower caused a stir on the internet, and hours later, he posted this video on his TikTok page explaining his actions.
Last night was the BT Awards, and right now, it's something on my mind. Let's talk about it. First and foremost, I want to start by saying, I am not upset at Taraji P. Henson by any stretch of the imagination. And not only that, in my opinion, she smoked it last night. I don't think for one second Taraji had any ill will or any ill intentions behind the situation. The situation happened the way it did. It is what it is. I made a video last night where I had the rose that was given to me in my hand and I let it fall on the floor. The reason I did this had nothing to do with Taraji P. Henson. The reason I dropped it on the floor is that I wholeheartedly believe that wasn't my rose. That wasn't my rose. That wasn't my moment. It was given to me, but it wasn't mine. And I always say, I don't want nothing that ain't mine. I want what's meant for me, nothing less, nothing more. The entire segment on the production side felt extremely rushed. Not only did it feel rushed, it did not feel intentional. It did not feel purposeful. I'm forever thankful for every room that I'm in. I was more than thankful and more than grateful to just sit there and enjoy it.
Hours after Keith posted the video,
Chat, I'm confused as to why the hell this is even talked about. Chat, is it really that serious? It sounds like she or whoever made an honest mistake and she corrected it. Why does this got to be discussed? Why is this even being discussed so much? Am I tripping? And then he talking about he not mad at her. He mad at the production team. Tomato, dog. What are you talking about? I'm confused.
Video on TikTok. Taraji took to her Instagram page and reacted to the video of Keith dropping the flower. She said, "Life really is too short for this behavior. He wasn't in his seat. They give celebrity assigned seats. I rehearsed all damn day to go hit my mark, and that young man wasn't in his seat, so he missed his moment. His ego is hurt. He will be fine. I cleaned it up at the end of the show. No love lost here." But then months after the unfortunate event at the BET Awards, Keith Lee sat down for an interview. It's Shannon Sharp's club Shay Shay, where he decided to speak his truth about what what happened that night. According to Keith, he revealed that he specifically refrained from talking about it because he wanted the buzz to die down and only spoke about it if it affected his family or the restaurant.
You did run into some controversy with Taraji P. Henson.
Oh, let's talk about it, Shannon.
What happened?
All right. So, again, these are things that I've never talked about, specifically because I like my family being on the forefront and I like the restaurant to be the main.
Chad, why does video do this? Like, why don't you just play the clip?
The main focus.
The main focus. The only time I do speak on it is when I feel like it's starting to affect my family or starting to affect the money that I bring in for my family.
Keith then goes ahead to talk about how he was skeptical about attending the award show, even though he and his family got front row tickets, because anytime his name comes on BET, it's always for negative reasons.
We had front row tickets, we had the red carpet and all of that. I told her beforehand, the love that y'all say that y'all have for us, I don't feel it, because when y'all do mention us or y'all do bring us up in conversation, it's always the most negative things that you can possibly talk about.
Oh.
It's always like the drama, or like, it's never like we went to a restaurant and we was blessed enough to leave thousands of people at a restaurant that was about to close tomorrow, or like anything that was positive and is 90%, I would like to think is 90% positive what we do, 10% of the bullshit.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of times it was the bullshit that was being brought up.
He then talks about how poor the organization of the event was from BET Awards, how getting to the show was hectic, including tickets, not being readily available for part of his team. Keith then revealed he and his wife got front row seats, with his seat directly behind DC Young Fly. Then mid-show, someone from production walks in, talking about how they were going to switch his seats because they were moving to a segment where they were going to be giving people their flowers.
We go to the award show, we sitting behind DC Young Fly, we sit next to, what's his name? No, the original seats that we were in. We would sit next to an older guy, and everybody was like being super rowdy, and me and him, we talking, we having conversations, we laughing with each other. I'm telling him, like, you ain't gotta worry about my wife standing up and twerking. We sitting here, we enjoying the show.
Right.
We laughing, we having a ball. So it's probably halfway through the show, a person from BET walks up, or a person from production walks up, and she says, hey, we about to switch your seats in a minute because we're doing a episode, or we doing a segment to where we giving people their flowers, right? Mind you, I just talked to BET an hour ago, and I'm like, y'all don't have to do this. I'm okay sitting in these seats, having conversations with, I think his name was Dr. Bobby Jones. Now, yeah, we sit next to Dr. Bobby Jones. I'm like, this is more than enough for me.
Bobby
Like,
Jones.
I'm more than thankful just to be here. They like, no, we gonna sit you on the front row and we gonna give you your flowers. And we really wanna highlight you, we really wanna.
Keith then explains the reasons behind the video of him throwing the rose on the floor, and how he didn't blame Taraji for the mistake, but the BET production team as a whole, because the whole giving.
Okay, so he blamed it on the production team because they switched the seats, which caused the mix up. So this sound like this whole squabble is because of the production team, and just a little miscommunication between Keith Lee and Taraji, right?
People their flowers.
But Chad, I'm gonna be honest, this ain't big enough to even be discussing. Like, I don't see the whole hiccup.
Flowers was a last-minute decision that Taraji didn't really prepare for.
This is the biggest thing that I want to get throughout this whole story. I didn't blame Taraji for 1 second, because it was all production that was making things that didn't have to be made. She come over to us, and she immediately walked past me, walked to Jordan, and she started talking to Jordan as if Jordan was me. And I'm reading the prompter, and the prompter is saying like, tell Keith Lee, give Keith Lee his flowers, this and the third. And she look at Jordan and she go, I bet you rate this award show 10 out of 10. And Jordan go, oh, no, that's him. They had she come over, she like, oh, my bad. She immediately start like improving, because again, this is a situation where it's a lot going on. So she starts saying like, you look good too. Even though my wife is sitting right here, she like, oh, you look good. Give him his flowers, this, that, and the third. And then she tell Jordan that he look good. And just a whole bunch of improv. She leave, me and Jordan looking at each other like, what just happened?
He then talked about how the video went viral, why he dropped the flowers on the floor, and why he deleted the video.
Now that I open my phone, literally.
Yeah, and I think he kind of added fuel to the fire with this dropping the flower shit, because perception is reality, chat, at the end of the day. Perception is reality, and when somebody if that just happened, people automatically and confirmation bias. People already got in their mind that you finna react like on some fuck Taraji type shit. So when they seen you dropping that flower, he should have known that the internet was gonna eat that up. He shouldn't have did that. Yeah, he shouldn't have did that, chat. I think that's what really blew this shit out of proportion. But it ain't, Chad. This ain't too big. This ain't too big. Let's move on to the next.
Got a house on the hill, I don't back out. Ain't showing no love, no, not in this season. I'm waiting to bring all my racks out. Now who keeping all of my niggas? Been waiting to shoot up the burner. Caught in my feels, I need some more soda. She loving the pill, her body get warmer. Gotta let her ride on top.